Kiss me, I'm Irish. Oh, you don't want to? Okay, that's fine. How about we discuss St. Patrick's Day then?
Driving with Mr. Grizzly. Funny real talk. Let's drive.
Alright, so on today's episode of Driving with Mr. Grizzly, that's me, everyone's favorite middle school math teacher. Yeah, anyway, let's discuss St. Patrick's Day, because on the day I am releasing this video, it is St. Patrick's Day. And there's, I guess, a couple of things I want to discuss about it. And let's start off with St. Patrick's Day in school. And I'm going to talk about this probably from two perspectives: when I was young and now as a teacher in school. So I have, let's start off now, me being a teacher. First off, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a sea of green tomorrow, because I'm recording this the day before. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have a lot of students wearing green. And, I might have some with, what you call four-leaf clovers on them. They might have it painted on their cheek, might have stickers or something. But what I want to talk about is the fact that traditions have changed, or at least in my viewpoint. I remember when I was younger, when a student, well, let's start off with this. I noticed that students don't do the pinching anymore, and honestly, that's a good thing. Number one reason they don't do it is probably because we have a rule against that. Keep your hands to yourself. Because students nowadays, man, they're just irritable. So if I have a student that gets pinched, it's liable to make them go crazy and want to fight. And honestly, that's personal space too. You don't want to invade someone's personal space. I'm like that. Don't get in my space. I will tell you this much. If this year is anything like last year, almost all the staff is going to be wearing green, except for me. I don't wear green. I have nothing against the color. It's just I don't really have anything green to wear. So, it ain't that I don't like St. Patrick's Day. I do. It's a fun little, and I don't want to say holiday, because to me, holiday denotes that you're, not going to work. But I just feel like, it doesn't have the appeal that it did when I was younger. So while students will more than likely be wearing green, I know most of the staff will be wearing green. There'll be some form of St. Patrick's Day celebrated. I don't know exactly right now what that's going to be. But, as far as the pension goes, can't do that anymore. Now, let's throw back to when I was a student. I'm a child and a student of the 80s and early 90s. And back then, the thing, and I'm pretty sure you remember this, that if you wasn't wearing green, you get pinched. Back then, there was a lot of that going on. And let's be honest about this. Boys loved it because they could pinch the girls. Girls loved it because they could pinch the boys. It was flirting. Let's just be honest about that. And at the same time, I feel like we could do the pinching without getting upset and mad. Like I said, students nowadays are very irritable. Parents are also a little bit, I don't know, I won't say irritable. Their parent, I can see that point of view, because one of my children, well, they're adults now, but one of my children came home saying so-and-so pinched them. I would probably get upset. Because let's just be honest, we don't just pinch. It ain't like, oh, pinch. A lot of times students pinch and try to rip flesh and skin and bone off. It's like, ah. You know, they don't know like boundaries on stuff like that. So there's that. But yeah, when we were younger, we did it to flirt. Like, oops, so-and-so, you ain't wearing green pinch. And I can also remember in high school, I would wear pink underwear just so someone, brain died. So if a girl walked up to me, oh, you not wearing green pinch? And I said, ha ha, I was wearing green. Because the thing was, if you was wearing green and you got pinched, you could pinch back. So that also gave me two things. Number one, I could pinch back. Number two, it gave me a chance to show off my boxers. I swear, when you're young, you're dumb. Anyway, so, yeah. So I'd be like, ha, I was, and I'd show my boxer, and then, pinch back and all that. It was childish, yes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest, it was childish, but it was fun. So, there's that. It's a cultural change. Now, let's talk about St. Patrick's Day or St. Patty's Day as an adult. And that's another thing. Now that I've said that, I feel like the name has changed. Because when I was younger, I remember it being St. Patrick's Day. And I know it's still called St. Patrick's Day, but I feel like over time, it's been abbreviated to St. Patty's Day. That's what I hear a lot of people nowadays say. St. Patty's Day, not St. Patrick's Day. Leave a comment if you've noticed that change, or if that's one of those Mandela effect things. I don't know. Yeah, leave a comment if that's something that you feel like you've noticed. But anyway, so as an adult, St. Patrick's Day, St. Patty's Day, I'm gonna call it St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is now a day of drinking for adults. So now you get to go out and drink that green beer and eat those green chicken wings. I'm not drinking. Well, I don't drink alcohol anymore anyway. But I'm not also going to eat green chicken wings. Because they might be trying to hide actual real mold green. Who knows? But, cities, they like to dye things green. I think Greenville, they like to dye the Reedy River green. They like to pour green dye in it. Stuff like that. So as a child, it's cute little fun. Wear green, pinch. But I'm pretty sure there's some schools that don't have no rules against that. We do. But then as an adult, it's go out, drink, party, have fun. I mean, at my age, I don't do that anymore. So, and also, now, as you saw at the beginning, kiss me, I'm Irish. And then, I can't do that too much because, like I've said before, I'm so damn good looking that it's already hard enough, for women to keep their hands off of me. If I was to do that, I mean, whew, that would just do them in just by my looks alone, my sheer sexiness. So, yeah, as an adult, it's changed. Now it is what it is on that side. But I don't know. It's interesting to see things change. And one more thing I want to talk about is just, I guess, the cultural change over time. There's sayings and expressions that I'll say in class and my students have never heard of it. And the other day we were doing a math game, and it was Battleship version of math. And I had students that never heard of Battleship. They were like, what? What is this? I've never heard of that. And I'm thinking to myself, seriously? Just like I have had students that never heard of St. Patrick's Day. They have never heard of it. They didn't know what it was. And I tell them, if you want to, go and research it. I tell them, from what I was always told growing up, it was the day that a guy named Patrick, who later on became sainthood, anointed, I guess is the word, anointed to saint. And the story is that he drove all the snakes out of Ireland, but that's a myth because Ireland doesn't have snakes, so he couldn't have driven them out. But supposedly that's why Ireland doesn't have them. So, it is, take it, if I remember right, I haven't researched it in a long time. I think St. Patrick actually brought Christianity to Ireland. I want to say that's true. If I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me. I'm fine with that. I don't mind being corrected. Hey, I love learning new things. So if it's something I don't know, tell me. Leave it in the comments. Like I said, I love learning things. But either way. But yeah, I wanted to discuss, St. Patrick's Day, because this is going to come out on St. Patrick's Day. And I feel like, it'd be a good little topic. But, like I said, leave a comment about what you like about St. Patrick's Day. Do you celebrate it? Do you not? If you're Irish, how do you feel about the holiday? I have had some Irish friends that didn't like it. They felt like it was, stereotyping or something on that end. And I'm part Irish myself. I really am. I'm part Irish, part Scottish. And, personally, I don't have nothing against the day. So. But like I said, I don't really celebrate it anymore either. But, yeah, leave a comment, do you celebrate it? If you do, what do you do? Tell me about it when you was a child, what was done then. It'll be interesting to see, all that. Well, I'm about to pull into my driveway. I hope you have enjoyed the ride. And if you have enjoyed the ride, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click that bell icon. That way you get notified every time I release a new video, which I release a new video every Tuesday at 6. So, from your favorite math teacher, everyone's favorite math teacher, me, I want to impart words of wisdom. Always remember that 1 + 1 is 2. Until the next ride.